allows anyone to do yoga.
I love that.
But you're not limited to being in a chair forever.
Wow.
You can sit as though you're on the floor. You can get into lotus pose if that's comfortable for you, or anywhere in between, including a lot of positions where there's one leg up and one leg down, which a lot of people find very comfortable.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Did you design it?
It came to me. I had a meditation practice. It was difficult to do on the floor, and sitting on the edge of my futon, it was like super comfortable for one leg because the futon mattress had pulled back just enough that one leg could get super comfortable. The other leg couldn't. So I said, okay, well, I need a bench so I can do both legs. And I went looking for a bench, could not find one.
Right.
So began to build something that was modeled after the futon. Come to discover, years later, when I'm looking for pictures, I remember seeing a picture of Shiva sitting with one leg up, one down. There are sculptures and pictures all over India of ancient gods and gurus doing exactly that.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about that for a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So this is a program called Extraordinary Experiences. We developed a network really in an attempt to get our own programming out there. I channel an Ascended Masters group named Julius.
Okay.
We've been doing that for about 15 years and reached a certain level of success, and then found that we wanted our own shows and we wanted to do things, and of course Gaia is too tough to get entangled into, so we decided to start our own network, Xpnsion Network.
Okay.
And so this is one of the shows that's on the network.
Nice.
So I get to sit and be a host of a show, which is kind of interesting for me. And we love to talk to people like yourself that are doing, great, cool spiritual things out there from all angles, okay? Because everything supports the energy and the energy supports everything, right?
And there's always something to learn, this
Always.
cross-fertilization. So
All right.
it's a
Let me
wonderful-
grab. Are you going to run this for me? Okay. Oh, yeah, it'll go through. It
That's
goes
fine.
through our team.
Figured you'd get long-winded.
We do get long-winded. So why do you think, do you have a hypothesis, a theory as to why meditation maybe got limited into one or two positions, or what do you think is going on with that?
That is a great question. It's a deep one. In the first place, I think in the West, yoga has come to mean gymnastic exercise. I have gone to at least, if I try to do everything in a class, I have been wiped out for as long as 2 days afterwards. If I only do part of it, I'm only wiped out for 1 day. And when you take a break, what do? You go into child pose.
Right.
So the meditation position is limited by the fact that you're on the floor.
Right.
The fact that you need to be upright. Okay,
Right.
so there are several cross-legged positions, and our chairs in the West, we can sit one way. There's not a lot of flexibility in terms of options.
Right.
So putting something that's about halfway, I call it Buddha's middle way. It's halfway between the floor and a chair.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
And that way, when you're in a yoga class and you're focused on the actual goal of yoga, yoga means yoke, means union with the divine, a connection, a spiritual connection. The whole point of the practice.
No, it's not. It's to get into that competitive pretzel pose.
Somebody has a competitive yoga practice,
Yes.
I heard. It's
Oh
amazing.
my
Competitive
God.
yoga.
Yeah.
You have to be kidding me.
Hell, I know. No. Yes, I understand that.
Okay, so the goal here now is to inform the West and raise awareness that yoga is a meditative practice, to provide them a thing that anybody can do, which 50% of the country would like to do yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And when they want to take a break, they can sit and meditate. They don't have to go down into child pose and
Right.
get out of it. And the whole goal anyway is to develop that meditation. So if you get to that point, heck yeah, stay there, enjoy it.
Right.
And join the class when you're ready. It will
Yeah.
still be there.
No, I agree. The West basically takes everything and excuse my language, but kind of prostitutes it out to number one to a massively commercial level. And because the West is so competitive on everything from government to business to sports and things like that, they're going to turn everything into a combative, competitive thing.
It's so focused on externalities.
Right.
That's inevitable.
Right.
And I was fortunate to be in a martial arts program with Grandmaster Taeyeon Kim, highest ranking female martial arts program master in the world. And it was an internal energy program.
That's right, because I did the same thing with a master from China back when I was 13 years old. And we were doing yoga back then. We did yoga to warm up and get our chi activated, to get our centers activated and our balance and our energy fields. And that was back when yoga wasn't cool, certainly wasn't commercialized or cool. And so I get all of that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
My meditation practice is built around activating chi.
Yeah.
And experiencing it, because once you experience it, it's like, it doesn't become something you have to do.
No.
I mean, if you have to sit there bored out of your gourd for 20 minutes because you're supposed to, it's not something you're going to want to do or will do.
Right.
But if it's just, it feels good.
Yeah. And it really does become, I don't want to use the word addiction, but it just becomes,
it's a positive addiction.
It's a necessity. It just is what you're doing. It's not an option. You're doing it, right?
It's what I do every day now. It's like it goes through the rest of the day, butter rub.
Yeah. Well, also I know this. So I spent only about 15 minutes doing a little bit of yoga instruction here and there in my life. But so many people out there with limited mobility, completely discouraged because they can't get on the floor. Meditation, same problem. I don't know where to sit. I don't know. And finding ways to include everybody in postures and positions that have no pain involved, because that becomes a resistant energy to your intention.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It's really hard to meditate when you're in pain.
Oh my hell! You can't do anything when you're in pain. Not effectively, anyway.
Exactly.
Right. How long have you had this product?
So that is brilliant. Will be in the shelves basically. It's being manufactured now.
Wow.
It's just will be shipping next week and will be available middle of June. It's like.
Isn't that awesome?
And you just hit on a real key point there too. The first book I wrote, I should have brought one over, Bench Yoga, is the first in a series, and it focuses on the externalities, but also begins to give people the flavor of increasing energy flows.
Right.
For example, real simple exercise. Take your palms, press them together. As you exhale, press together as hard as you can for 8 or 10 seconds. And I like to do a nice breathy exhale. And then relax. And feel the chi in your heart area. It's thank you. That is so gratifying. Thank you. And that is one area of the body. I do it for all areas of the body.
Wow.
So,
and everything's energy. We're energy. Okay. You have to know that if you're watching this program. You have to know that by now. Everything's energy. Everything's connective energy. Everything's expansive or constricting energy. We want your energy expansive. We want your superpowers unleashed, right? Clears your mind. Let's go with that monkey mind, that altered ego that's causing all your stress and your anxiety in your life, right? We're so behind in the West compared to the rest of the world.
well, it's like their spiritual roots are in India, and in the West we're divorced from that, and the guru tradition doesn't share information as easily as the Western academic tradition.
Right.
So we have grown leaps and bounds technologically, but we're completely divorced from our spiritual roots.
Right.
So what I want to do is bring that academic freedom to spirituality. So in my books, I always try to recognize the source I got from, because I've learned from this source and from that source and the other source. You are taking the opportunity to learn from everyone you talk to.
Right.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
That's nice.
And I call myself a coach. I'm not a guru. I don't have the answers for everything, but I have the answers for some things, and I can help you in some areas.
Tell everybody your name, how to get a hold of you.
Thank you. My name's Eric Armstrong. My website is meditatebetter.com. I have a yoga bench, yoga practice built around it, bench yoga. And the next 2 books in the series go into even more subtle energy activation systems.
That's so wonderful. Aren't we so glad that people are doing that now, right? To come into, not feel like you're this, really strange, isolated component, but that this finally, in the moment of now, that everybody's integrating into this truth and really contributing to all of it, which just makes it more expansive for everybody, right?
It really is. And if there was ever a time for it, it's now.
Yeah.
With the planet in peril, it's time to.
Yeah.
And my philosophy is, I will be free when everyone is free.
Yeah.
If anyone isn't free, none
We're
of us
the
are
same
free.
way. We're the same way. Yeah. And the great thing is you can do this. Okay. There's many things in your life that human beings feel disempowered in at no fault of their own. That it's a byproduct of something, or someone outside of you has control over something that you do. You get to totally own this. This is yours, right? Nobody can take this from you, right? You can stop doing the practice, which is you taking it away from yourself. But this is authentic power.
It is.
It is.
And once you internalize the practice, you wouldn't stop even if you
I
wanted
know.
to. And it's what you learn is just something you take with you through the day. I mean, your posture, the energy
It's
flows,
true.
the internal energy activation techniques, whatever you're doing, they make
It's
your
true.
life better.
Yeah, yeah. We want you to get a hold of Eric. We want you to experience his energy through his products or through your interaction with him. It's a lovely, lovely energy. I'm sure you can see that and feel it. I know it's okay for me to touch you.
That's lovely. Thank you.
We hope everybody out there is having an extraordinary day. We know you are now. And we'll be back with some more programming a bit later on.
I am grateful for the opportunity. Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome. It's our pleasure.